Hey, here we are. Here we
We're
are.
back.
Wow.
Episode
53. 53.
53,
And a new era is upon us.
the virtual
Uh,
era.
yeah. As you can see, we look a bit different than how we typically look.
Yes.
Um, we're figuring this out as we go, clearly,
Yeah,
in
this is
typical
going to be
fashion.
one thing this will be terrible for is talking over each other
Oh my God, gonna be bad.
because we do it anyway, but this is going to be way
Yeah.
worse. I
Maybe
don't
it'll
know.
maybe it'll see already. Maybe it'll teach us to like really like give the space.
Make the
I like how
takes
your
out.
name is Al Gore. That is really awesome.
Well, it just auto generated a random name.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
just based on what you like
And it
give
just
off.
picked my hero.
Yeah. In terms of just personal heroes, list them
In
out, and
terms
we'll
of in
assign
terms of
names.
going green.
Yeah. Go green, go gore.
Um yeah, so we're back. Matt's in LA, I'm in Boston. Catching up. I think he's frozen, so there we go. Right out the gate. Frozen as frozen gets.
Okay, cool. What's cool is that where you're talking and your lips are moving like a couple seconds after, which
Okay,
is
this was
nice.
moving so smoothly a second ago. So
I know. I'm not sure what happened. I think you probably got a little talk now. Seems better now. Okay. Yeah. Froze for a minute, but now we're back.
I was faking it.
Okay. Cool.
You got me?
Cool. Yeah. I got you in
Yeah.
like the worst quality possible, but I think it's recording in a better quality than what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's good that we're struggling through this because it's like one of the biggest weeks in Boston sports.
Yeah,
Um,
in our life, it's been insane. We'll dive into that, I think, in a little
later,
bit. Right
later,
now,
later, later, later.
later,
Just
later,
do
later, later, later.
a little intro.
Um,
So how's the move been?
Move's been good. Move's been good. So I packed super light. That was my strategy. I'm just gonna pack super light, knowing they give us a $200 Target gift card out here. So I'm like, okay, I'll just use that. Go get a bunch of stuff when I'm here.
That's
Don't want to
gimme.
pay for all that carry-on garbage anyway. I'm bad at traveling to begin with, so let me minimize the factors in which stuff could go wrong. Traveled by myself. That was pretty smooth, all things considered. Taking off in a
Was
snowstorm.
that your first time?
First time traveling alone, yeah. But I've been
Wow.
doing it so much this year that it felt like I didn't really. There was no point where I was like, I don't know, like, oh, where do I
Plus,
go? I just.
when you left so early, right?
Mhm.
When you get on a plane at like 6 a.m., nothing matters. You're just like, get me to bed.
No, exactly. Yeah. It's totally cool. Yeah, I slept most of the flight. What's interesting about here is like I came here like I've lived, in Boston, like within a drive in terms of school and like moving. Now it's cross
Mhm.
country, so obviously can't do that. But I keep like going to Target and then coming back and being like, oh, I need like another thing. And it's just
Yeah.
like random things. Like I'm making pasta and I'm like, oh, I don't have like a strainer. I don't have a knife. Like I don't have like stuff like that. So
They don't
I
have
guess
a
it's a whole
community
adult.
thing. They don't have like a community thing there.
They do, but there's like one, and I think it was being used, and like and I don't really know where everything is quite yet. It's an interesting setup. They have some things here where I'm like, for the community, where I'm like, oh, didn't know they had that, and then there's like stuff that I think they should have and they don't have. So it's
Don't have.
it's odd,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I'm a fan. The weather's great. I'm in Los Angeles, just for all you viewers out there. Weather's really cool. That's a cool thing about this whole thing. What isn't cool is not being able to walk everywhere like you can in Boston. Something that
Right.
we've noticed here is people just like hang out on the street all day.
It's the best.
Yeah, they just hang out. No phones, no nothing. Like they just hang out on the sidewalk
That's
all day.
Cali
And
living,
it's like,
man.
yeah,
That's,
and
that's
yeah, people I think are a little bit sometimes sketched out by those folks. I'm not really. They don't really bother anyone. I think I just don't know what they're doing. They're just hanging out like up
they're
and
just
down the street.
enjoying the
So
day. They're just enjoying the
yeah,
day.
so very interesting stuff. A little bit of a culture shock, but yeah, we're doing well. We're doing
I
well.
think in California, the area's so nice, the weather's so nice, like you're near the beach, and they're like, the taxes are high, you can't really walk anywhere, there's bad traffic, but like the weather's nice, so they just forget all that and they just hang out. Like they don't
Yeah.
care. That's the California lifestyle. Like that's the island lifestyle. Like you just hang
Hmm.
out,
Yeah.
and that's the way I'm trying to live. If I'm being honest.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's
Someday, yeah,
very interesting. It's very interesting for sure. The traffic is no joke. They people talk about the traffic being insane. It is insane. It is insane.
yeah.
So
How's your sickness? Are you still fighting?
sickness. I'm actually. This is probably the best day. Most progress I've made, I think, in one day. Um, the snuffles is almost all the way out. What about yours? You had I thought you might be dead there for a while. You know who is
Yeah.
dead now is Noah. Noah has fully contracted whatever this is, and he is in
Oh, dude,
shambles.
you know what's crazy?
What?
Mickey yesterday went to the doctor, has strep throat, and then was like puking the whole day, and had like terrible bloody noses.
Yeah, what's going on? That is
Like he was
insane.
just dying. He just
Does he have
died.
Ebola?
He was literally dying. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened, but he's fine now. I was struggling for a couple weeks, but I'm doing better. I
good.
think I was like feeling sick, and then we went. I didn't take any medicine, and we went skiing, snowboarding, and that didn't help me at all. And then I got bronchitis. So
Yep. Yep. Really great mix.
yeah, I'm better.
Yeah, I didn't see Noah for like 30 hours straight. So
That's crazy. The first 30
yeah.
hours.
And then I saw, and then he was like, yeah, I took 8 Tylenol. And then we were like, we're going to go out. And I was like, oh, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, Noah. He's like, no.
No, I'm coming.
I will be there no matter what. And proceeded to mix it with quite a lot of alcohol. But worked out for him.
I did absolutely nothing for like 4 straight days because I had bronchitis. I felt like shit. And now my car is being shared between me and my brother. So he would go to school and I would just be doing nothing. So I played this little game with myself, which was like, try and sleep in as long as you can without being mad at yourself. And never, I didn't win at all. Because I would either like wake up at 10 and be like, I'm so tired, I'm going back to bed. Or I'd wake up at like 1:30 and I'm like, oh, you're a bum. Like you haven't done anything with your day.
Nice.
So there's really no win in that game. I think I just got to start push myself to getting up at like 6 a.m.
Yeah. Do it.
Like, at least
I feel really cool out here because of the time difference. And of course, like just being home anyway, for whatever reason, like I'd wake up at like normal person times in Boston. Obviously they're a little on the earlier side, but at home in Plymouth and at home, I'm like 7 a.m. I'm awake. And I started getting to that habit right before I came out here. So that's 4 a.m. out here. So I wake up and it's like dark. And I was like,
crazy.
It's very odd. It's very odd. I'm slowly getting reverse jet lagged, but why?
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I am now the Wagon's tennis correspondent. I will say that.
That's huge. We were looking for one.
I watched both seasons of that Breakpoint tennis show, which was amazing.
I'm going to get into that. I saw it last night.
It was amazing. And then the Australian Open's on right now, so I've been watching that, which also is at like 4 a.m. So that doesn't help the whole sleep thing. But I've been crushing it. We're rooting for Ben Shelton. That's our American
guy, Ben Shelton. How old is he?
He's 21 and he hits his serves. Like he just doesn't lose his serve. He hits his serves like 140 miles an hour. Like it's the fastest serve in tennis, and he's 21 years old.
Okay, that feels like an American. That feels like our guy. We're just gonna beat you with power.
I mean, TFO lost last night, and he's like our hyped up American. He lost last night.
I forgot that TFO is American. Yeah,
TFO American. We have this kid Taylor Fritz, who's American. He won in straight sets last night. He's good, but he was in the documentary, and he's like, yeah, I'm not like confident at all in my skill.
Okay, cool.
So I don't really love that. And then this kid Ben Shelton is like 21. And Djokovic is commenting about like how cocky he is on the court, which is like fun for tennis because
good. We got another McEnroe.
No, I like him. Love Alcaraz too. Alcaraz is my guy.
Yeah, Alcaraz is probably gonna run through it. Djokovic playing in this one?
Djokovic won last night. Yeah, he has like 10 Australian Opens. It's insane.
Yeah, and he had the 4-hour match against the young kid.
Yeah, his first round went like 4 hours, but he won. He only lost 1 set, so.
That's crazy how that works. It's like, 4 hours long. It must have been like 8 overtime, like I just assumed, which obviously isn't a thing in tennis, but you know what I mean? But it's not. It's just like sometimes one individual point can just last forever.
But that's also kind of just how long tennis matches go. Like if you win a set like 6-3 or something, it's like half an hour. So if there's 4 or 5 sets, like it's going to be 4-hour match.
Yeah, it was just a little on the longer side, honestly. Yeah.
Like 4-hour matches aren't unusual, I don't think.
Yeah, sweet. I was scrolling through. Perusing the Netflix last night, I saw that Captain documentary for the World Cup. That's on the list, and then also Breakpoint. So
I watched that too. Captain was unreal. Also add to the list, dude. I watched it yesterday with my mom. Society of Snow.
Right, I saw that as well.
Counts as a sports movie because they were a rugby team from Uruguay.
Was this? Is this the Dyatlov Pass?
No, I don't know what that is.
Different one.
1972 Uruguayan rugby team. They're flying over the Andes to like Chile to play a match or something, and the plane goes down in the Andes. It was like 45 people, 27 survived the crash, and these dudes survived 72 days on the top of the Andes Mountains. Wow. Like it was negative 20 degrees. They had no water. They were melting snow every day, and they had to eat the dead passengers because that was the only food they had. So they all they're all very like religious guys, so it took them so long to do it. And they're like, if I die, you can eat me, blah, 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 blah. And then they would die and they would just eat each other. Which
Oh.
they were showing it in the movie, and it was fucking crazy. And
Oh, it was a movie?
It was a movie.
Oh, okay.
It was a movie. I guess like right away the search pilots came for them, but the plane was white, so they couldn't see it in the snow. So like the first couple of days they heard the planes and they were like, "Oh, we're getting rescued, like we're fine." Come to think, like 72 days later. And then an avalanche came. This is going to be the worst way to describe this movie. Well, I'm not going to ruin it. It's just a fucking documentary.
No, yeah. I'm probably not watching it if cannibalism's involved, so.
An avalanche came in and buried them for 4 days. They were in the plane, the broken plane, for 4 days under the snow. And one dude died, and they just ate that dude for 4 days.
That's crazy.
Dude, this is like I've been into I love the survival stories and crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like a month goes by, and they're like, "Fuck this, we need to save ourselves." And so when the weather got a little bit nicer, these two dudes hiked like 38 miles over 10 days through the Andes Mountains and like found a farmer. And it was like, "Hey, we're alive still." And they were just like, "Oh, what? That's weird."
No way. That's crazy.
It's been over 2 months, 2.5 months, and you have no food.
Absurd. Oh God, that's crazy. That's wild. I saw that on Netflix as well. I can't do two things I like cannot watch no matter what is zombie stuff and cannibalism stuff. I don't know why. And I'm like, I'm not like queasy really by nature. Like I did violence, whatever. I was watching The Equalizer last night. That's absurdly violent. I just, for some reason, that just, I cannot do it.
When people bite other people, how are you with vampires? Really?
Yeah.
I'm not really into vampires, but zombies are sick.
I can't do them. I hate them. I hate it. Yeah, not my thing for some reason.
Right.
But yeah, shall we get into the episode?
Yeah,
we're gonna go check in and see if this works, and then maybe we'll be back.
Yeah, maybe we won't. Honestly,
no idea.
All right, we're back, and Jerod Mayo is officially the head coach of the New England Patriots. Which was he last time? I don't think so.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't officially yet.
So yeah, Jerod Mayo's in. Bill Belichick obviously out. Today is, what day is today? Wednesday,
yes.
Wednesday. So today was the day of their press conference, which was revealing, but also a typical Patriots press conference, I think I would say.
Yeah, I was really pumped to watch it. I was honestly, like, just my takeaways from today is I love this dude. Like, as a guy, as a Patriots fan, I'm pumped about him being the guy in charge. I was obviously a little skeptical because I didn't, I just knew him from his, playing days. I haven't really heard him talk. Like, he would do limited media availability. But the sort of general vibe I was getting from him was he is very committed to changing, like, the coldness and the, like, secrecy, which of, like, the Patriots and, like, the unfriendliness. Like, I could tell, like, he was really, like, wasn't trying to take shots at Bill or anything, but he was making that very clear, especially with the media. He was like, "No, I'm going to have a better relationship with you guys. Like, I'm going to talk to you guys. Like, I want to lean on you guys." Like, and he talked so much about, like, breaking down barriers. Like, there was a thing, some reporter, there's been so many today, I lost track, but they were like, "You need a key card to go everywhere in the Patriots building. Like, it's locked down. Like, it's crazy." Like, I'm wondering if that's just not going to be the case now. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's really focused on, like, really changing that sort of vibe, which I'm so for.
Right. 100% for. It seems like everyone was worried that he's just going to be a worse version of Belichick, like a worse defensive coach. And it seems like he really is committing to changing the whole Patriot way, getting off of that, not being Bill Belichick. He said in the press conference, Bill Belichick is Bill Belichick. I'm trying to do my own thing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Which is, I'm all in for. That's something we were asking for and we didn't think we were going to get, which it seems like he's all in. He seems like he's a leader of men, which I'm happy about.
And you said it originally, like, he does give me, like, major Mike Tomlin vibes and Mike Vrabel vibes, like, two very similar. Yeah.
Like this is going to sound bad because he's been coaching terribly, but like Frank Reich, like a leader.
Yeah.
Frank Reich leads the guys.
Yeah. Just like one of the guys, like, literally just like, I'm just going to, even listening to him today, like, I'm just me and I'm listening to him. I'm like, oh yeah, I would actually love to play for this guy. Like, I can see the thought process. Originally, when this all happened, obviously I was huge on the Vrabel train just because I've seen what Vrabel is. I haven't really seen what Mayo was. I was just sort of making assumptions. And now, like, I was mad that they had a succession plan already in place because I was like, why would you shut doors prematurely? Like you had a Vrabel come open. Like why did we do that? Now I understand. I'm like, oh, they really like this guy was a guy in house. Like imagine this was McDaniels. Like so we've seen what McDaniels is as a head coach. Like imagine like we've seen McDaniels do media availability, especially because he's been a head coach. Like it's not the same. Like McDaniels is not a leader of men at all. I think he's really smart, but like Mayo is like I can really see why they did that, and I'm fully on board with that decision.
Same. I think it's super important for the head coach to kind of be if he's going to be that guy in the building, you got to set the narrative. And he talked about it so much today, which to me at a certain point was a little over the top. Like I turned it off after a certain bit.
Yeah, it's tricky too. He was getting peppered with questions.
He was, which is tough. It's so tough following up Bill Belichick. Like there's no winning for him at all.
Oh, none. Yeah.
No winning. The only thing my dad was telling me, it's like when you move on from such a hard, like a strict coach like that, you got to go to a guy that's friendly and that the players love, because you can't just keep berating these guys. Like Mayo was saying it himself, he had to leave football because he was getting kind of tired of Bill. Like Brady clearly was tired of Bill, and a lot of players were kind of done with his, I'll say shenanigans, but it's his way of coaching. So it's to have a guy that I think everyone in the building is going to love. I'm excited. I mean, I knew you would eventually turn and be optimistic no matter what. Like you would love this guy regardless of what he had to say. I was hopeful just because I thought he would be like the players coach that everyone's going to love, and it seems like that's what he's got. He just the main part of the press conference was like, let's just change the narrative in the building. He said in the building 500,000 times.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing, like going off that, like something that I was noting, because I just looked up like Jerod Mayo interview, because I didn't realize like he did the presser, and then he did like 10 other interviews with the local stations after, and his energy was up here the entire time, and that was huge to me. Like Belichick would never do that ever, and like just little things, like he was sitting down at the presser, like so chill, like smiles everywhere. Like even Bill on like his introductory presser, when it's supposed to be as positive as it is 24 years ago, even the ending presser, which is also supposed to be, that type of vibe because it was like celebratory, wasn't that vibe at all. He always had the podium and everything. Like that for me was a huge like green flag. I'm like, oh, okay, this guy is super committed to like bringing a like collaborative and open and friendly vibe, which I think that's great.
It was awesome. It was awesome just to hear him talk.
Oh, for sure. Again, we never really have.
Just to have a guy answer a question is literally game changing for us.
Yeah, no, right? I know. And what about all this media? You could almost hear it. And like he's addressing so many of the reporters by their first name. Like when have you ever heard Bill do that? Unless he's like mad, where he's like, "Come on, Tom," But like Mayo, like a bunch of their, oh hey, like Sarah, like what are like? It's like, oh, that's all of a sudden.
No, that's awesome. I'm excited for at least that aspect of football. Even if we're shit, it's going to be like, well, we're gonna have more stuff to talk about because it's not just
so true.
Letting us out again.
Yeah, so true. Even the race stuff like was clumsy a little bit in my opinion, but like it's such, again, like I'm not holding him.
Why, you see color? You see color?
Yeah, no, and it's like even in that, I'm like, I don't like. Yeah, that was kind of weird, but I'm like, why are we even asking? Like, if anything,
there's always a question too far, but it was
and he did fine. And again, he's a football coach, like he's not an orator, and like he's pretty great at that for a football. So it's like I'm not holding that at all.
No, and that was first, I think that was a good answer, but also,
me too.
It was funny just to see. First off, I am pro old people being in power.
Okay.
Like I don't want Bill Belichick. He's not going to answer questions. He's not old enough. I need Robert Kraft, because him being so mispronouncing Mayo's brother's name was hilarious.
I didn't see that part.
Dude, the very first second, Kraft is like, yeah, shout out to all Mayo's family, and like name dropped all of them and pronounced his brother's names wrong. And Mayo corrected him. It was like, it's a black person name. I'll take care of it. Like, I got you.
Oh, that's right. That's how we like started it, right? Yeah,
they started that way.
Calling him Thunder and stuff. I was like, that's awesome.
I hate that. That was really? So sucking up to me. Like, I don't want to.
I think that's just probably how he is. I think he probably just calls everyone that.
Thundercat?
Yeah. I was like, all right, I'm with that.
That was weird to me. But
yeah, it was a little. I mean, it was a strange day for sure.
At least he's cracking jokes. It was more lighthearted, which
I'm in.
Definitely have answers, and you sent a clip which we can. I want to play.
Yeah, we should play it. This is what's if we want to transition to this sort of talk. This is what easily got me the most fired up out of the day. This is one of the like friggin' 12 interviews he did with the local stations. I think this is CBS, Boston.
Yeah.
Talking about the draft.
Another person that was at the presser was Mac Jones.
Really?
You didn't see that? He walked in, he was there listening, and a lot of reporters were like, hey, what are you going to address with the whole quarterback situation? Because they've sucked so far this year. The balls of Mac Jones to be there and be like, I'm just going to listen to the presser. Like, I love my new head coach.
You see Devin McCourty asking a question too? That was cool.
Yeah. He was like, did you get to celebrate with your family yet?
Yeah.
This was the clip, an interview later.
How excited are you for the draft? You have the third pick of the draft. Yeah. And now it's on your shoulders.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. What I will say is this. We're going to draft the best player for a position that is very important. You put the pieces together.
So Jerod Mayo, the new head coach of the New England Patriots, basically just confirming that we are going to be drafting a quarterback coming.
Yes, we will have the next D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud in New England come next playoffs.
I have it in my notes. Like, this is the best version of what that could be is D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud. We saw it this year. D'Amico and Jerod Mayo, both very similar players. I'm pretty sure they both played the same position in their playing career. And both young guys, defensive guys coming into their own. D'Amico played middle linebacker for the Houston. Jerod played middle linebacker for the Patriots. And again, you hit on a quarterback. It's like, I know I've pounded the table so much for just getting in a young offensive guy, but like how should I say it? Like you hit on the quarterback plus like a strong defensive leader of men kind of seems like another amazing pairing, regardless if it's better than the offensive stuff. Like that is a great pairing. Now, again, Houston has Bobby Slowick, so it's like
right. Which we'll get to that later, I guess. But I think the only other key piece we need, because it seems like we're doing the GM thing.
Yeah, if we can get into that, I have a bunch of stuff on that.
They elevated that guy, the player, the development guy who's been terrible. Wolf. No, Matt Groh or something.
Groh, yeah, terrorist.
Been terrible. He's an actual terrorist. Yeah. I saw a picture of him in Al-Qaeda.
Yep.
He's a real terrorist. They like elevated his role, and he's going to be picking more players, which I hate.
Perfect. Yeah. Same with Elliot Wolf. Elliot Wolf's like been with the organization like since 2020. It's like, oh, okay. So
the worst years of the organization.
Yeah.
I will say, if we're not going to work on the GM thing, it would be great if Mayo was that leader of men like we talk about as the head coach, and then he lets his coordinators, the coordinators he picks, the offensive minds, you know, he can help with the defense, but like even bringing a good defensive guy to.
And it seems like he will.
I agree. I think he will, but that's, I think, a next step is if he could bring in. We've been talking about Welker, but any offensive mind that's maybe a little different, a little new, which he mentioned that this isn't the same game it was when he got drafted, which is awesome. We love that.
Thank you. That was like, oh my, yes, please. That is awesome.
Finally acknowledging something that we've been complaining to Bill Belichick about for years, but it would be huge if he could bring in an offensive mind to kind of run the offense and let them do their thing, and he's more the leader, like the Dan Campbells of the world, something like that.
Yeah, which would be huge. I wouldn't, in terms of GMs, like Dave Ziegler's out there. I think Dave Ziegler would be great. I don't really know. Like it seemed like, so there was that report that came out that said they're not doing anything. Then Kraft today and Mayo like hinted at they're going to make a hire, but I just don't think they want to commit to anything. But like, you need to hire a GM. Just hire a GM. Matt Groh and Elliot Wolf have like terrible track records. Like there's been a bunch of really great executives for the Patriots in this dynasty. They've all left. And the two guys that have remained since like 2020-ish, since Brady left-ish, has been Matt Groh, who's been promoted to, director of player personnel. Like he's the top guy besides Belichick. And then Elliot Wolf, who's the director of scouting. You know who has maybe the worst scouting in the league is the New England Patriots the last 3 years. So it's like, how on earth could these guys possibly be in charge? No,
it's terrible. They did hire or elevate, whatever you want to say. I forget what it was. Right after the presser, one or two people, a woman, I don't know her name, we can put it in or whatever, was brought in to be like a senior vice president to Mayo to like help him out. And she has never worked in football, supposedly. So whatever that
Interesting. I
means.
wonder. It's okay. Step one, complete, check, good job. There's like 4 more really big steps that we got to hit here. The next step I think is surrounding him, and so far I'm a bit concerned. That's where I'm at right now.
We still haven't killed Mac Jones, which I think is important.
Step 1A.
Step 1A, kill Mac Jones.
Yep.
He said we're out which was huge. He said no more. I don't want any finger pointers. Like I don't want any crybabies in the locker room, which seems direct to Mac Jones, but maybe also towards like Trent Brown and the receiving core that were kind of busy. So that's huge. I don't like any of those guys, so get rid of them.
Yeah. Overall, I'm with it. They said Edelman went on Coward today and was talking about how like they just called him like Jerod Belichick like throughout. Which is like good in the sense of like I need like the gene, like Bill Belichick was always like a genius even at the end, and it's like if we can get a little bit of that still, that's absolutely huge. So
I think we're all in. This is huge. We're making a step in the right direction, and it seems like Mayo, when he was asked about like returning to a championship level team or getting back to the playoffs, he was like, we're still like seeing what we got, and we're gonna go from there. Like it's obviously a long process, so we're just working on like building leaders, building the foundation, which is, if we're talking rebuild, which is what we are, he's got the right idea. It's tough because coming off of the Patriots' greatness, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, you don't want to admit that we're rebuilding. Same thing that the Red Sox should be doing, but they're not. But it seems like Mayo has the right idea, like draft the quarterback.
Yeah, which is huge. Again, and it also seemed like it was so funny, like listening to him talk, because you could tell he wasn't going to take any shots at Bill, but you could tell like the way he was talking about things. It's like
he kind of did.
I know he kind of did, but he was never like Bill did things this way. I'm not doing it that way. He like kind of subtly was like
he took no direction. He definitely took some.
Yeah, and like even the clip we just played, it was like the undertone was that was like, yeah, we're not fucking around. We're just going to take the best quarterback available because of course we should. And that's like what we say all the time. It's like, why would you not select George Pickens, the best receiver on the best college team? Like
just
what?
Take the best guys. And we know football better and so just take the best guys. Listen,
anyone. We know
the game better for years. Just take the best guy.
Take the best guy. So that's very refreshing. I think that's all I have on Mayo. I'm pumped to see where it goes. They interviewed the Falcons special teams coordinator to be their special teams coordinator. Don't have the numbers on how the Falcons special teams were this year, but
probably could be interesting or something. I feel like NFC South's always good for returning punts. I feel
right. Yeah, I feel that way too.
Julio Jones, maybe that's probably
Do we want to? We're 17 minutes in, and we don't even need to worry about a camera turning off. So. Do you want to talk a little Belichick? Just the stuff going on with him.
Yeah.
So he interviewed with the Falcons, which is crazy.
Falcons.
Absurd headline to see. And how about what a comeback for them. So the Falcons thing for me is it only makes sense because of the owner. Everything else I'm very not I don't get it. The owner, it's like if Bill's going for just like who I need like a great boss. Okay, Arthur Blank is a really good owner. But I don't get the roster. I don't get the structure. The roster has some interesting pieces, but again, there's no quarterback. I have a little hypothetical for you.
Okay. Well, I have some more about the Falcons if you want to.
Yeah, hypothetical for the Falcons. So
okay, go ahead.
Parlay.
Yeah, go ahead.
What if they trade the 8th pick, because we know Belichick loves trading down, for Dak Prescott? Who says no faster? Dallas or Atlanta?
Jeez.
Right? I'm saying with Belichick in charge. It's not like a move I would make. I'm trying to see like, would a Belichick-led Atlanta Falcons potentially do something like that?
With Dak? It's not crazy.
Right? And it's like I don't think they're paying anyone anymore. So I think they're probably one of the only teams that can really afford his contract right now. For me, it's him or Kirk.
I was going to say Kirk, unless you can get a veteran guy like that, either through trading or signing some vets out there. The only reason I could see him going there, obviously the owner, but it's because he'd have full control of everything, and they have a lot of cap room. So if they brought him in, he could obviously bring in his sons, bring in everyone, bring in his special teams guys, bring in probably Bill O'Brien, bring in
that as well.
Run the offense, and then and then he would just kind of have what he wants. Like I don't think he would get that at many other teams that are
True.
stacked right now.
Yeah,
He was
and
saying he
have
would like to
prominent
go to.
GMs.
He said he wants to like this was a report, right? He wants to go to a talented team that has underachieved. I wouldn't define the Falcons as talented. That's the only thing. It's like don't have a quarterback. You can't win a football game without a quarterback. So
yeah,
I don't know, but
that's why I'm like, does he really want to go through that again? Unless they're like, hey, we're gonna make a trade.
I don't know because the division's shit. He could definitely win the division,
right? Which I think that's another thing. He absolutely cares about the division simply because, like, obviously he does. He's a smart guy. And there's been countless interviews, but like he had all of his success with the abominable AFC East, and there's a mic'd up clip of him and Saban in like 06 whenever Saban was with the Dolphins, and it was them chatting before the game. Obviously they're super close, and he's like, dude, I'm so pissed you're in the division. And it's like that was like the first thing he said, and it's like, of course that's like, so I think that is really how he talks or how he thinks.
I think he would, that'd be a benefit. I just don't know if unless he has a real plan to get a good quarterback. I don't. But also the past couple of years, he thinks he can win football games without a quarterback. So maybe he thinks with like a Taylor Heineke or I don't know. I just can't see him trading up, drafting a guy and developing him because he's 73, and if he's going to go coach somewhere, he wants to win now.
That's what I'm saying. Kirk Cousins just feels like the perfect Belichick quarterback, doesn't he?
It does. It does. He really does. But I think
you
got to get some more weapons. You got to get some.
Yeah, I think I'm out on the Cowboys thing from a realism perspective. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. Also, Bill Belichick is so close with Jimmy Johnson.
Really? That's right. He is.
And Jimmy Johnson couldn't get out of the house quicker.
Oh, yeah. No, the situation was horrible.
He hated Jerry Jones. So why would Bill Belichick, knowing that, be like, yeah, let's go deal with this owner? Then I hate owners. So, like, why would he?
Yeah, and Jerry Jones and Kraft hate each other. Like, so it's like, and like, look at all the quarterbacks.
He would love coaching Micah Parsons.
He would love that. That would be his absolute dream. That he's literally LT 2.0, but more slim.
I don't think there's any ideal landing spot.
No. I really think, like, if the Eagles job came open, I think that would be the best job for him. Because conversely, Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, and Kraft are like super tight. And now you have Howie Roseman there, and so Belichick wouldn't get to be the GM. But you'd have to think that Belichick would respect the hell out of Howie Roseman. He's probably the best GM in football. Edelman said today that he would. Like, that's he endorses the Eagles thing. And obviously that roster is great. Now, the thing that deters me from that is a mic'd up clip I saw this morning of when they played in Philly probably 10, 15 years ago, talking to Brady before the game. And he was just like, I hate Philadelphia. Like, yeah, he was like, I can't cheer for anything in Philadelphia other than the national anthem. So...
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I just did not think. I still think he's going to retire. I did not think he was going to go anywhere, and now the Falcons are interviewing him. I'm not sure if he's just doing it to see what it's like. But
there's two parts of me. Like, there's a part of me that I think he really doesn't coach this year, regardless if he retires or not. Like, he doesn't coach this next year. Then at the same time, like, I'm seeing. I know, right? I know. It's crazy. But then I'm seeing like these, it's like, oh, they're just interviewing him already for 3.5 hours. Then I'm like, okay, no, he just still wants to coach. So
I could also see him being like, let me go to Atlanta, bring my kids with me. I'll retire. One of them goes coaches somewhere else. The other one takes over for me. And then I run the NFL. Cause like, he just loves football. Like he wants to give his kids, like I could see him giving his kids jobs like that.
Yeah. That is definitely.
Like Steven, what's the other one's name?
Steve Belichick, and then is the other one even around anymore?
Yeah, he was on the Patriots staff this year.
Oh, he still is? I forget his name.
But he was third string quarterback. But I could totally see him like making sure Steve has a job, which I think he'll have a job anyway. Apparently the Patriots offered them both.
Yeah.
Like extended them. So I don't know.
Yeah, which is insane. Yeah, I think honestly right now, if I had to lean one team, I guess it'd have to be Atlanta, just because they actually interviewed him. But still, I think it's pretty nuts.
All right, I'm gonna go. If I had to pick one team, I'm gonna go the Navy lacrosse team.
That 100%.
If I had to pick a team.
100%. I think your point about him getting full control, though, is really apt.
That's the only enticing part about Atlanta.
Yeah. And I think that's huge. I think that's very important to him.
Run everything. Bring in whatever coaches you want. You have unlimited salary. Not that he's ever going to spend it.
Yeah.
But,
so true. So true.
And the division's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
In Atlanta, the owner just wants to win football games.
Yeah, and he's getting up there too all of a sudden.
Yeah,
so
he's bringing the greatest coach of all time. It's a win-win. I don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah, me too. It's starting again. Nothing makes like 100%, but Atlanta's got like four or five things that make sense compared to like the other teams.
Like Bill Belichick signed with Atlanta, brought in all of his boys, and then like somehow acquired a Dak Prescott, a veteran quarterback like that. I'd be like, they're going to win the division and probably a couple playoff games. So.
Yeah. Yep. Agree for sure.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll keep you updated on that. We're going to take a quick break and then talk maybe some more playoff football. All right. We are back from our break. We just massaged each other sexually. Virtually through the
podcast recording. Online. So it was playoff week in the NFL, Super Wildcard weekend. Some of the games were like horrible, and then some of the games were really good.
A lot of unexpected wins, I think I'll say. Which, by the way, I only got one game wrong.
That's huge. I got the Cowboys game completely correct, so I'm pumped about that. Everything else.
That was the only one I got wrong. Every other game I guessed straight.
Yep, I was pretty wrong about everything.
You don't have to listen to me, but if you want to make money,
right. Of course. It's funny. Like we can just, if we want to start with Bucks Eagles, just because that's most recently on my mind. That was like one of the most remarkable games I've watched in a while, for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I was like flipping between. Maybe the Celtics were on, but
they were on.
Yeah, that was. I mean, the Eagles.
Insane. You were talking about the drop in product in terms of like football, and was there a better display of that than on Monday? Like I remember just watching that and be like, no one can catch or tackle. No one can just do the basic things. It was insane, and it kept happening. Even the Bucks, who played they kept just dropping balls. It was insane.
Yeah, Mike Evans dropped like 3 touchdowns.
Yep, and same with the tight end, who had like a good game, but he had like 4 drops.
Yeah, and that I forget what DB it was for the Eagles. Was it James Bradbury who missed that tackle?
I think so. Yes, it was Bradbury. It was like
that was terrible.
Insane.
The Matt Patricia effect.
Dude, unbelievable. I have some stuff on Matt Patricia, but before I get into it, like they were saying, that's how you know it's crazy. Like even before they started talking about it on the broadcast, like when I'm noticing something like football wise, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. I shouldn't be able to notice schemes. I've never played like tackle football in my life. I should not be able to notice like something happening like within the play style, play calling. Like it was crazy.
Yeah. So
crazy.
That is true. We should not be able to call out something that's happening on the TV, and then afterwards the analysts are like, "Yeah, this is what went wrong."
Yeah, no, that's a red flag. Shouldn't happen.
That should be smart. That's reaffirming that we could coach a football team.
Yeah, exactly. Why on earth, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, would you ever hire Matt Patricia to do anything like that? No. Unbelievable. We could have told you that.
Anyone in the NFL.
Anyone. I mean, it was like insane. I'm just going to like take you back to what happened. I think it was actually an overreaction. So Philly is 10-1, right? Heading into like week 12.
Not bad.
10-1, clearly one of the best teams in the league. At the time, we said the only teams that can actually win it are like them, the Chiefs, and the 49ers. And it was like clear cut at that time. They get killed by the Cowboys and the 49ers in back-to-back games.
And the Bills.
No, they beat the Bills. That's what's crazy.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. Let me rewind. They're 10-1. They've beaten the Chiefs, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Rams, the Bucks, and the Cowboys. That is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are 6 playoff teams. Okay. 6 playoff teams they beat. We talk about so many teams that are fraudulent because they haven't beaten anybody. The Eagles have had like amazing wins up until this point.
Yeah. Really
good. 2 terrible games. They've had 2 terrible games. They get blown out. They relieve their D coordinator of play calling duties, and they hire Matt Patricia to run the defense and call the plays. Here's what happened following that decision. 1-4. Lose to the Seahawks, who didn't make the playoffs, 20-17. They beat the Giants, but they let them 33-25. So they let up 25 points to the Giants. They lose to the Cardinals, who scored 35 points on them, and they could not stop the run. They lose to the Giants, the pitiful Giants. They lose 27-10, unbelievable. And then here's the playoff game. They get destroyed by the Bucks, 32-9, in one of the most pathetic defensive performances I've ever seen in my life. And who else could possibly be responsible for that? It's one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in like a football season.
And maybe sports as a whole.
And maybe sports.
And
it's not like this is out of the blue. It's not like this is some random guy who they hired and it's like, wow, it turns out he was horrible. No, he's been actively horrible for the last 5 years. What were you thinking?
Like way longer than that. He's been terrible forever. I mean,
yeah, honestly, forever.
Obviously, with the Patriots, he was good, but he wasn't in charge of anything there. Like
no, and also with the Patriots, it's like you were working directly under Bill. Yeah. You were also had like Jerod Mayo, the current head coach of the Patriots, Brian Flores on your staff as well, and like a bunch, like that staff was loaded. So it's like,
I know,
like how much
it's terrible. I mean, he was on the Lions. It was just like they didn't win a game for like. I think that was the season. No, that wasn't the season. That was Dan Campbell's first year when they got like one win.
I think that was Patricia's last year because then they fired him after. They fired him halfway through the season. He didn't even make the season.
Yeah, he's terrible. I don't know why you would ever do that. You should have just asked us. We would have been like, don't do that. That's dumb.
Don't do that. Hey, Matt and Quinn, Wagon Podcast, we're thinking about, you guys are Boston guys, we're thinking about hiring Matt Patricia. Don't do it.
What are you fucking?
It'd be the worst thing that you'll ever do.
Are you really that dumb?
That insane. I thought you were smart, Howie Roseman.
Why don't you just not call plays at all and just send the guys out there?
And like, why didn't you just keep going with the guy who's there? Like, just I know something had to change, but like, geez, any other guy it seems.
They were bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was remarkable, and it's like it goes back to the Lions thing. Like when he was the head coach of the Lions, you could just kind of tell like guys were not happy. You know what I mean? Like no one got the sense they were buying in there, and that's what it looked like watching the game. Like how can you not tackle? That's insane.
He also looks so dumb when he's like chewing on his pencil and he's like got in his ear and he's like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
I can't stop anyone. He couldn't stop 11 Helen Kellers.
No, literally no. Like I think I could have like broken out a route for like 26 yards on that defense.
Easily. Over the middle of the field too.
Yeah, in the middle of the field. Oh my God, it was crazy.
It was bad. But shout out Baker Mayfield. He's a stud. He's a winner.
So Baker Mayfield has been getting a lot of what?
I said he's been getting a lot of praise. He deserves it.
Deserved. So he has had 8 different head coaches in his career. Obviously, quite the crazy run that he's been on. Cleveland is not exactly an organization known for developing quarterbacks. He has as many playoff victories as Dak Prescott.
That's what I was just going to say. As many as Dak Prescott. And more than one Lamar Jackson. So
it's awesome. Football.
Yeah, he's a winner, and we love him.
Last year.
What's up?
He's playing scout team defense for the Panthers last year.
Yeah, and remember the Rams thing? That was awesome.
Yeah. So it's like
McVay may have single-handedly turned his career around, which is awesome. McVay is such an underratedly great coach.
How is he underrated? It's insane, but he is.
He is. He's honest, maybe the best coach in the NFL, and he just.
Yeah.
Like this year it was crazy, but whatever.
This year is crazy, and we can transition to that game in a little bit. One last thing before we transition to that game.
Yeah.
Me especially, I'm always like offensive coaches. This weekend, Todd Bowles, D'Amico Ryans, and Sean McDermott all won games. Half the coaches that won were defensive coaches. So
yeah, I mean they all have been giving. They've been allowing their offensive minds to work in the system. Like that's not what the Patriots had with a defensive coach. So it's a little different, but I agree. I mean, I think defense still wins championships. We were talking about it last week or a couple of weeks ago. Like the scoring is down. The offensive play is not as good as it has been. Quarterbacks are getting hurt. So if you have a good, deep defensive team, you're gonna be in a lot of games.
Yeah. For sure. So transitioning to the Rams game, this is just a really good game. Of course, this is the one game that I couldn't watch because I'm still getting my stuff situated here. And for whatever, I think that game, I forget which channel that was on, but whatever was on, it just NBC. I think it was not having it. I just couldn't connect. So I was streaming it for a while, but that kept crashing. This is like a crazy McVay season Because like he was supposed. Remember all that stuff in the offseason? Like he won the Super Bowl and he's peak. Like he had all this praise coming up, youngest coach ever, yada yada yada. Wins the Super Bowl. Has kind of a weird season last year. People are leaving. They're kind of finally paying the bill for going so all in on that Super Bowl run. They're like, this team's going to be bad. Like this team's a really bad roster. We don't really know what we got with Stafford.
They have no receivers. People are hurt.
No receivers. Like Cooper Kupp's hurt. Like everyone's hurt.
Defense.
McVay might be going to TV. McVay's like kind of seems like he's like kind of done with it. Might be going to TV.
Right.
All of a sudden, they're like a couple plays away from winning a playoff game.
Right. And they honestly, some could argue they should have. There was a lot of cry about the refs, which, whatever. I mean, that's just football. That's just sports. I think if the refs are going to rig a game, at least do it for the Lions. They deserve it. So I'm fine with that.
That was great. Yeah,
that works for me. I love.
But just crazy.
First off, Detroit, I love you as a city.
Yes.
And I'm jealous. Yeah, they just deserve that win, whether or not the refs made a couple calls that may have been bad. I mean, it's the story year after year. So I wouldn't hang your hat on that if you're a Rams fan. And I can't imagine too many Rams fans care that much because they shouldn't have been in the playoffs and they're probably on the sidewalk doing nothing, like you say. So
right, they're all just chilling here. Chad Ryland drafted over Puka Nacua. So
yes, yep, greatest
awesome.
Rookie season, one of the best rookie seasons ever.
He's crazy. He loves hitting that B button. He just spins all the time. He's great.
I know.
Yeah,
which is crazy because Jamar Chase probably had a better rookie season.
Yeah, I'm not sure numbers wise how it stacked up, but
whatever it is. But Jamar Chase was also supposed to be great.
Oh yeah, Jamar was like top.
Dude that this is some random like not unathletic, but like some mediocre receiver out of BYU who turned into I'm going to draft him in the first round of fantasy football next year. That's
what's crazy. Just about like the Rams are so smart, and that's how you can tell smart organizations. This is when the roster stinks. It's a rebuilding year, and all of a sudden they're in the playoffs, about to win a playoff game. That clip that comes out of Les Snead and Sean McVay at the draft, whenever they drafted him, like the 5th or 6th round, and they're like, "Oh, dude, we just won the draft with that pick," and it was like, "Oh, they were right months ago before you even put on an NFL jersey." Crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Said in an interview who would love to be a Patriot. So,
what was that?
He said in an interview he would have liked to be a Patriot.
Yep. So, hey, I think that frustration is going to start changing for us. But
I think so too.
Anyway, Texans Browns.
The Joe Flacco experiment ended like I predicted.
Yes.
CJ Stroud is a winner. D'Amico Ryan's. I mean, CJ Stroud is maybe a top 3 quarterback in the league. He will be.
Not crazy.
He's not now. There's a lot of injuries and shit, but like he just throws the ball right on the numbers every time. Every fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
He makes plays. That's what he does.
What's been wild watching that is like when it's going right for the Texans, which has been more often than not this year, and we saw it last weekend. It looks so easy for him.
So easy.
Like he's Herbert, but with like just doing it on the bigger stage, like rookie year wise. I'm saying. Exactly.
Yeah. Shout out the guy that made that test at the draft.
Got me. I thought there were all the red flags in the world on this kid coming out of the draft, and I couldn't have been more wrong.
I was all over it. I'm just gonna say that.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was awesome. Good upset there, even though they were home. So I don't know.
Yeah. You had a crazy question about CJ Stroud.
Oh, I did. Yes. Well, first I'd like to say, if you're Bobby Slowick in the Texas organization, why would you leave to coach a shitty team with no players when you could work with D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud and all these young guys for the next 10, 15 years and build the dynasty down in Houston? Because you could be remembered as a legend, or you could go coach the Panthers or the Commanders with a terrible organization, switching owners constantly, and you don't know what's going to happen. And then next thing you know, you're out of a job, and it's like, well, now my legacy is tarnished. When you could become like one of the best minds in the game. Yeah,
especially because he's already, this is his first year as a coordinator. So it's like, if I'm him, there is no way I'm leaving. Because it's like, I'll just keep balling for the sake of
getting a head coach. I get getting that, like, the head coach offer and taking more money. But if I was him, I'd be like, dude, just give me more money to stay here and we can win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Like, you build the defense, I'll build the offense, and we can do this thing. That's what I would do.
I would do that too. The McDaniels thing. And, like, again, we've said it, like, as of now, none of these jobs are good. Like, none of these jobs are good. So, absolutely not. The Houston offensive coordinator job is better than every single head coaching opening as of today.
I would like the ability to coach CJ Stroud is better than going down and coaching some bum Carolina. You know?
Yeah. Whoever.
Some terrible quarterback.
Okay, well, he's
one.
who. Someone analyzed him the other day, Bryce Young, in that last game, like I told you about. Now they didn't score any points.
Did it come back that he was short?
He is short, but he was making throws. Okay, he was making throws. Now they didn't score any points, but I'm telling you, you get some stuff around Bryce Young down there in Carolina. It's not over for him.
I mean, Bailey Zappi makes throws. I make throws.
That's true. That's fair. What else happened?
My real question here is, if you were the Ravens and say the Texans front office calls you and they're like, hey, we love Lamar Jackson. We'd like to have him here in Houston. We'll give you CJ Stroud. Yes or no? What are you saying? It's a crazy question. It's a crazy question. We were talking about the other week, Lamar Jackson being a Hall of Famer already. He's going to have 2 MVPs. And if he wins the Super Bowl, but at the same time, he has 1 playoff win. He hasn't started a playoff game since 2020. You know, how long are his legs going to last? So it's not a crazy question. I personally wouldn't do it just because that's how their team's kind of built around Lamar. But also, I think there's only a handful of quarterbacks, maybe 3, that I wouldn't trade for CJ Stroud.
Yeah. What's crazy is I would do it. I would take Stroud over Lamar today. And that, I don't know if that's the right decision. And it's just I've been recognizing my own bias, and I've been like recognizing everyone's bias like all season, yet I still clearly have it because I just said that. Like, there's so much negative rhetoric about Lamar for whatever reason, just his play style. Yet he wins 80% of his games. He's going to win his second MVP, and he's the 1 seed, and has a really significant chance to be a Super Bowl champion by the end of the season. And yet here I am saying I want some rookie who's played well over him. And I don't know why I do that, but that's how I'm feeling. It's crazy, though. Crazy.
It is crazy to say because he's a rookie, but at the same time, dude, he's a baller.
It is. Lamar is just peak. Like, what else would you like me to do? And it's like, I'd like you to win a playoff game or 2. That's probably it. But then past that,
fair ask.
Yeah,
I think fair ask.
Yeah, but I mean,
Stroud's really. He's peak football.
The stuff about Stroud, we talk about aura. He has it. I mean, and he went on McAfee a couple of days ago before the game, and he was just like, all right, cool. Because they're like, oh, they're down us, cool. Like, he's dope. He's dope. He's a gamer.
He's got the swagger. Although that being said, we'll get into predictions in a little bit, which we can probably transfer that way. But I think the Ravens are just going to smoke them.
Me too. I think they're going to smoke them.
We can get to that. What other games? Quick games. Cowboys are done.
So Green Bay got it right again. That was one thing that you've been on, and I to be fair, to credit to me, I jumped on your bandwagon. Pretty early on.
I was high on Jordan Love. Just having a guy that's been able to sit behind Aaron Rodgers is going to be good at football.
Plays like him too. Those back foot throws look the exact same.
Yeah. I think it's also cool that they were like, we're just going to trust these young receivers, and our quarterback will make them better, and it actually happened.
It actually worked. Yeah.
Just
and that wouldn't have worked with Aaron Rodgers because he's just like, I hate young people. And it's like, okay,
I'm just going to throw it to Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, I need Randall Cobb. I need him.
Yeah,
I need him.
Randall Cobb.
It's wild. Love it reminded me a lot of Thanksgiving. That Thanksgiving game with the Lions, like, and it's really been since then, like, crazy. It's literally the opposite of like the Eagles, like, had one of the most remarkable downfalls I've ever seen this season. And the Packers are just like all of a sudden really good. And it's like the complete opposite direction. It's wild. Yeah.
Same thing with the Rams. I mean, they've obviously been good in the past, but they turned it around right around halfway through the season. You got to get hot at the right times, which is clearly the Packers have. I'm in on the Packers. I don't know. It seems like they're a young team. Same with the Texans that like prove themselves.
Overachieving.
They probably can't win a Super Bowl. They've proved themselves, and then like next 2 years is going to be like, all right, we got something going here.
Yeah, and they're not signing any free agent like that. That's with and they don't really sign free agents to begin with because no one wants to go to Green Bay. But they made no free agent signings, and usually because they're in cap trouble with that Rodgers contract still, and they're doing this it's just, hats off to them. Jordan Love is awesome. I mean, I'm really gonna have to sit down and think about these QB rankings like once the dust settles here. I mean, like how many quarterbacks would you rather have over Jordan Love right now? Would you rather have Jared Goff over Jordan Love? Right? Like, I don't know.
Well, like going forward or like in a game?
Yeah, I mean, like today.
Oh, I'd rather have Jordan Love. Would you rather?
And even today, though. Even today, who's better?
Rather have Joe Burrow?
Yes. Yes.
Injury history. He's been so hurt.
I know, but he's gonna. I know he's been so hurt, but no, yes,
they were terrible. They start every year terribly.
I know.
They have to sneak into the wild card spot, and they had one miraculous playoff run, and it's starting to look like the Eagles thing, where it's like Jalen Hurts, is he really that good?
Could Joe Burrow just be Joe Flacco?
I mean, are all Joes the same?
Potentially in Montana.
Yeah.
Other games,
Dolphins, which feels like everyone in the world was like the Dolphins can't play in the cold weather, and they couldn't, which is a bummer.
Yep.
Their defense was banged up. They haven't beaten any good teams.
The thing that I really took from that game was once again cashing in on our fraud thing being correct, and also me, a Mike McDaniel guy. In the second half, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, I know. I mean, the cold weather thing's weird. I don't. Their defense was banged up. I don't.
But just the offensive play calling, they just kept calling these like bubble screens.
I know.
Like, can we just throw the ball a little bit? Like, I don't know. This is weird.
I know.
It's just weird.
Yeah, they couldn't get anything going.
That's one of those games where I was like, damn, Dolphins fans. Oh, I would really hate to be a Dolphins fan right now.
No, Frank the Tank.
Yeah. Oh, poor guy.
I love that guy.
What's interesting is Nick Wright brought this up. Like, no one's really impressed that how the Chiefs won or anything. Like, there's a lot of other like impressness going around, not really for the Chiefs. And it's like they just like destroyed the Dolphins. You know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah, but like I get the argument. It's like home field advantage. You know what's weird? Patrick Mahomes threw the ball 40 times.
That's crazy.
And it was like 0 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna throw this thing.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. What's weird is like some scores like look way better than other scores, yet they're like more points. Like for some reason, 26-9, I'm just like, eh. But then what if it was like 34-21? I'd be like, damn, that's crazy. Yeah. But like 26-9 is more points. So it's
more points.
Like they beat them by more points.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Just weird numbers.
I don't know. We'll see. The Chiefs could just do the Chiefs thing. Like this is a year. If you're going off like the Patriots dynasty, this is the year the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl.
Exactly. They're the 2018 Patriots. They are.
Yeah. No one
really good defense. All-time greats on offense. Not really productive, but they're just winners. All-time greats like Patriots had Brady, Gronk, and Edelman. They'll figure it out. The defense was really good. The Chiefs' defense is really good. Reminds me a lot of them.
I could totally see like Travis Kelce just being good again.
Yeah. Travis Kelce making like 2 huge plays in the Super Bowl. It's like, yeah, probably.
So,
if like, yeah, the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, I'm not shocked at all. Bills Steelers?
Bills Steelers, which no one thought the Steelers were going to win. I mean, they just don't have a quarterback, and I don't think TJ Watt played.
No, he didn't.
And Mike Tomlin is a good coach, but like hasn't won a playoff game since 2016.
I know, but give this guy a quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like go get one.
So true. Yeah.
I don't know.
So true.
The Bills, and also the Bills against they were 10-point favorites and they couldn't convincingly win. I think they won by 12 or something, but like I think it was a 1-score game in the fourth quarter. So
the Steelers had a chance. Yep.
Yeah, which is if we want to get into next week, I have something about the Bills. It's like Bills Chiefs in the playoffs. This is what we've been hoping for the next era of quarterbacks, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be that good of a game.
How so? What makes you say that?
Well, it's just like in the years past, like they had that playoff game, which was unreal. Remember, every drive there was like 20 points in the last 2 minutes. This game, it's like both quarterbacks aren't playing as good. The offenses aren't as good.
It's going to be freezing.
Bills defense is weird. It just doesn't seem like what we like. When I was watching that game 2 years ago, I was like, every game between these two is going to be amazing for the rest of eternity. And now, like the week of this game, I'm like, I don't think this is going to be that good of a game. It could be awesome, but it's like the Chiefs have been weird this year, and the Bills first were almost eliminated from the playoffs.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
they were either a 2 seed or out of the playoffs, and they're a 2 seed, so they have home field advantage. But I don't think they're a 2 seed. Like they're playing like a 2 seed.
Yeah. For me, the only cool wrinkle in this game is that it's at Buffalo, and we haven't seen this matchup at Buffalo yet. I'm like that. I'm intrigued by it, but I completely agree that I'm like this is not the teams that they've been. And again, with the Buffalo thing, it's like everyone is just so pumped about Buffalo, and they're like, yeah, they just they got their stuff back with the playoffs, and it's like, yeah, that Josh Allen play was great, that Khalil Shakir play was great. But again, the Steelers with Mason Rudolph were in a position to win the game. Like they're barely winning. Like it's not. I'm not convinced yet.
The Chiefs would have won that game.
Yes, of course they would have.
Yeah.
Like yeah. So I'm not.
That's
I'm
what
not there yet.
I feel super confident that this is going to be a shootout.
Not at all. Oh, not at all. Again, a 26-9 game again, like that type of game. Not crazy at all. Not crazy at all. Any other games that happened? I feel like we're
No, I
missing
think we got them all.
No, did we get them all? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all. Any quick predictions? I don't really have much predictions wise. I have no idea what's going to happen in the Lions-Bucks game.
Lions-Bucks game. Bucks are at home, which if they win and the Packers, what? What did I say? Bucks are at home.
No, Lions are at home.
Oh, Lions are at home. Excuse me.
Yeah. How about
Lions
you see that
at home?
interviewer question? That was awesome.
What's up?
Did you see that interviewer question? That was awesome.
No.
Ask Todd Bowles. It's going to be like 10
Oh,
degrees in
yes.
Detroit.
Yes.
How are you going to factor in the elements? What?
Yeah. How about you lose your job, lady?
Yep. Jesus.
If the Bucks win and basically if the Niners lose, we'll have a championship game either at Green Bay. No, we won't have it at Green Bay. It'll either be in Detroit or at Tampa, which is so weird.
That's so strange.
So
yeah,
weird.
you're right. That would be insane.
I think if any team can pull an upset, it's the Bucks over the Lions. I don't really see it happening, but as far as like the other games, there's 2 1 seeds, and then the other game is the Chiefs Bills, which I'd say there's no real upset there. So the Bucks could easily go out there and score 6 points, or they could be the team where they're in a dog race, like it's just constant scoring.
A weird game. Yeah,
they blitz heavy. That's their thing, and I guess Jared Goff is a little bit worse against the blitz, so that's going their way. And the Lions secondary is kind of questionable, and I mean the Bucks can throw the ball, so that's the only reason I think.
Conway's got his work cut out for him.
I'm going to be a Lions fan for the rest of the playoffs just because I want Jared. I like Jared Goff. I like Dan Campbell.
Yeah. And our former competitor, teammate, played football with.
He's on the team. The team. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, so I just hope they.
Jahmyr Gibbs is cool.
That's who I'm rooting for.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs is cool.
Quick
Just
predictions. I should have looked what the Ravens and Texans played, and I think it was an interesting game. I want to say like the Ravens pulled away, but I feel like the Texans had some shots there.
The Ravens won, and no, the overtime game was with the Rams. It was close. The Ravens did
early
win
too, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna look real quick here. Yeah. Oh my God, it was the first game. That's right. It was the first game, 25-9. But I feel like it was closer than 25-9.
But also, it's like your first game in the NFL for CJ Stroud, and you're playing in Baltimore. That's impossible.
Yeah. I'm going to go Ravens, Chiefs, Lions, 49ers. 3 home teams. Safe picks.
Okay.
But that's what I think is going to happen.
I'm going to go Ravens, Bills.
Really?
I hate Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Okay. Love her.
Ravens.
I love her.
Ravens, Bills.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go 49ers and I said I'm a Lions fan, so I kind of have to take them. Yeah. But you know what? I'm going to go no, the Packers aren't going to win. Jair Alexander's hurt, right?
He's hurt?
I think he's hurt.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's huge.
I'll just go chalk then. I'll go all the favorites.
Yeah. Fair.
I mean, all the home teams they have an advantage. This is where it counts. So.
Yeah, very true. Very true. There's going to be something wild. All right. I have just one more quick thing just because our stuff, I kind of want to briefly discuss this just because our stuff kind of got cut last week.
Yeah.
Just some like coaching stuff, like non-playoff teams.
Yeah.
Like the Bears and everything.
Yeah.
because some more stuff has come out about the Bears and like what they're going to do with Fields and everything. I just do not understand what the Bears are doing at all.
No, bringing back Eberflus before, like there's so many good coaches now.
It's insane.
Like even Pete Carroll, I was thinking about it. Pete Carroll, which by the way, Pete Carroll was like, I got fired because nobody here knows about football. You see him say that?
No.
He was like, nobody in this organization has any idea what they're doing. So
John Snyder, who's been there forever, but whatever.
yeah. He was like, these guys are all dum-dums, so whatever.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Even a Pete Carroll, how do you turn that down if you're a Bears fan? You've been terrible for so long.
Right. I'm just saying, like, these names I'm going to list. There's one name on here that you'll be like, roll your eyes at. But, like, I'm saying the Bears come to them and they're like, we're going to pay you a bunch of money to be our head coach. All of these are conceivable. They are picking Matt Eberflus over Bill Belichick, John Harbaugh, Mike Vrabel, Pete Carroll, and Nick Saban. Like, obviously that would be insane. But, like, if the Bears drove down there and they're like, hey, Nick, here's the proposal, come and join. He would be like, maybe, you know? And that's the fifth name. That's the fifth name on that list. And that's not even mentioning like the normal candidates.
There's plenty more. All those offensive guys like Ben Johnson, everyone.
Yeah, and that's not even mentioning Ben Johnson, who I think is going to be a great coach.
Yep.
Like, it's insane. And again, like you said this earlier, which I think is absolutely correct. If you're going to build around Fields, or if you're just going to keep Eberflus to begin with, you just keep the same staff, right? Keep some continuity. That's really the bargaining chip, and that's when the argument from Bears fans who want to keep Fields. It's like, all right, we're just going to reset again. Like, I get Caleb Williams is good, but like we got to stop resetting at some point. And it's like fair. So why on earth they've basically cleaned house of everyone on the offensive side of the ball in Chicago, and a lot of defensive people too, I think, have left. So it's like, what are we doing? So it's like you have like the worst version of continuity. It's like the worst possible string of decisions the Bears could have made they're making. It blows my mind, and I honestly have no idea what they're going to do.
But that's just the Chicago Bears, though. They choose. Yeah. They make a list of the best things to do and choose the worst every time.
Every time. Oh my god.
So
that's why it's so intriguing. Like, oh my god, a team with 2 picks in the top 10. You know, like, yeah, let's do. That's like me. That's like a Madden rebuilder's dream scenario, and it's like,
dude, I would love to sit down with one of these teams that's been terrible for so long. Like, say we bring on the Bears owner on the podcast, and
98-year-old.
Like, hey, why don't you just go out and get the best guys? Why don't you do that? And they'd be like, oh, it's not that simple. Blah blah blah.
No.
It is.
It is.
It is. You're a billionaire. It is.
Yep.
You can do whatever you want. It really is that simple. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think they're Big Cat. Big Cat was talking about it on their last podcast that he's over the Fields thing because watching CJ Stroud like make those throws, he knows Justin Fields just isn't a big game player. So
it's not going to happen. Justin Fields' stats are remarkably similar to Desmond Ritter's so far.
What if the Falcons went out and got Justin Fields and Belichick went there? Do you think he would?
Here's my thing. Fields does not feel like a Belichick quarterback, obviously, and it's like maybe that's because Belichick just never had a mobile quarterback. I mean, he had Cam, which was cool before he got. Yeah, he got COVID.
Max pretty mobile.
Yeah, Max really mobile. Max is a speedster. Yeah, I mean, it's not crazy. If I'm the Falcons, that's very intriguing. But I saw a thing today where it's like they could get a first-round pick for Justin Fields. I think that's insane. I would never do that.
If that was on the table, I would in a heartbeat.
I would definitely, Bears would probably decline it. Bears would be like, yeah, we'll go less. We'd like less.
We're going to keep Justin Fields, pay him, and draft the quarterback.
Yeah. And then...
That's honestly, actually, that's not a crazy thing for them because they've had no quarterbacks for 700 years. Why not just no offensive line, just have 20 quarterbacks, just find the good one.
Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels with both those picks and then keep Fields.
Keep Fields.
Yep.
All of them. Crazy.
Bring them all in. It's crazy. It just frustrates me. The Chargers officially interviewed Jim Harbaugh, yet I just know they're not going to hire him. I know it's not going to happen.
Yeah. No, Chargers are another one of those teams that's so disappointing because they're like a great – well, now I'm not going to say great franchise, but it's like L.A., the colors are cool.
Justin Herbert's so cool.
Good quarterback. You have a bunch of star players. Like, why not be a good team? And you just can't.
Yeah, they're always – yeah.
It's the same as the Bears. The Bears are football, but you can't be a good team.
Can't do it. It's crazy. But, yeah. that's really all I got. I'm pumped to see where things go. I don't think Harbaugh ends up in Charger land or anything like that. But yeah, that's all I have. Oh, I have actually a fun, completely unrelated post that I just wanted to share with you about the Pistons. Okay. I know we've kind of been doing some Piston stuff. Detroit, the Pistons subreddit, best place on earth right now.
I love Detroit.
If you wanna just go like see some remarkable things. So oh shoot, I think this is gonna take me a minute.
Damn it.
I know, I'm so sorry because I really want to read this whole quote, but I screenshotted the wrong thing.
Pistons are good. They're gonna win a game probably sometime in the next 2 months.
Yeah, you would think, right?
Big trade in the NBA today. Big trade in the NBA.
Oh yeah, they our resident Raptors fan, I live with one, is pumped about it because I think everyone's just over Pascal at this point, so they didn't want a repeat of the MVP thing.
3 first-rounders for Pascal Siakam. That is crazy.
That's great. Okay, so here it is. This is the Detroit Pistons subreddit. Credit to Quicksilver2525. His suggestion to improve the Detroit Pistons. It's titled "Just Start Punching People." Here it is. Here's the whole quote. I'm going to read it for you. We are 4-36 and on pace to become the worst team in NBA history. At this point, think about it. If the worst player on our team, I would say Wiseman, just started punching and beating the shit out of the other team's best player for, let's say, a couple of seconds, what's the worst that could happen? Wiseman gets tossed. He's the worst player on the team, so it wouldn't really matter, and their best player gets hurt. Just imagine Wiseman going complete apeshit on Luka before the teammates and referees get involved. It would be at least 3 whole seconds, which is a lot of time to break someone's leg or arm if they're really trying hard. Just something to think about as we approach the second half of the season. And I'm all the way in for that idea. I think that's great.
That's huge. I love that they think they can really turn the season around if they just start hurting the star players.
It's awesome.
Which I'm in for. As long as it's not versus the Celtics. If every other star player gets hurt, that's fine by me.
Yeah, well, that's great. Yeah, great for us. I think it's really something to look into. I just love that this is the state of the Detroit Pistons fan base. It's amazing.
I mean, don't they have there's another subreddit or another post about it where it's like, if we just kill half of our team, we like, is it? There's like an automatic redraft of the NBA or something?
Yeah.
So they were like, what if we just kill half of our players? Then we'd get maybe like Jamal Murray or something.
Yep. It's like the plane crash like rule or whatever. Just kill half your players and like, well,
if half your team dies, there's an automatic redraft in the NBA, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so awesome.
That's so funny.
It's great. I mean, it's great. That's the part of the internet that is just.
It's also great that they have the highest paid head coach in NBA history.
That is awesome. I didn't even see this, but the second post in this little subreddit is, by the way, this is just Detroit Pistons, r/Detroit.
I love Reddit. Reddit is my new favorite app.
The players should start singing on defense. And I think it's just to try and distract them.
Again, if anything to get the guys going. I don't see a problem with that. I don't see a problem at all.
Yeah, it's really sweet. It's really sweet.
I think you can go for like a little pants the other players or something. Like, you got to switch it up. They should bring in one of the Globetrotters guys.
Right? Just anything.
Yeah.
Well, Monty is, the highest paid coach in the league. So, all right, that's the show. I think that was a great show. First remote show.
I think it was great. Really good stuff. Should work really out smoothly. I'm sure there'll be no problems at all.
Yep. None. Never is with us. All right. Well, I'll see you soon. I'll maybe aim to record a little earlier next week after the playoff games. Yeah. I'm not doing anything. So
I start school next week.
I start school technically tomorrow, but
8 a.m. on Tuesdays. I got bio lab.
Oh,
biology 2, bio 2.
Okay, please. All right. Thanks for joining us.